My name is Chris Lambert. I am the founder and CEO of Life Remodeled, which I started in 2010 with my wife. My wife and I have been married 17 years. This coming July, we live in the city of Detroit, which we are proud Detroit residents since we moved in 2015, part of District 2. Shout out to Councilman McAllister and Councilman Tate, who is the first councilman I ever met in Detroit, all the way back in 2013, I believe we first met. And we have two boys. They're wild and crazy. They're 11 years old and 8 years old. I have no idea where they get all that energy from, but they're a blessing. I want to introduce you to our leadership team here at Life Remodeled. There's 10 team members here. And shout out to Women's History Month. As you can see, 80% of our leaders at Life Remodeled are ladies, and they are total rock stars. I especially want to point out Brandy Haggins, who's the director of the Durfee Innovation Society. She runs everything that's happening here from Life Remodeled side of things. And she's tuned into the call. I know the three principals of Burns, Coleman A. Young, and John R. King are also tuned in. Thank you so much for just this opportunity to share with you our heart. So Life Remodeled started in 2010, but we started working with Detroit Public Schools in 2014. And since 2014, we've renovated 4 schools in the city of Detroit. The first 3 schools we renovated were existing high schools, Cooley, Osborne, Denby. And then at the request of the school district, we started renovating vacant school buildings. So since 2014, we have mobilized $35 million, beautified a number of blocks, repaired 188 homes, boarded up over 2,000 houses, and engaged almost 70,000 volunteers in the process. At Cooley High School, Cooley, I know Mr. Dalton will like this, and it's an honor to meet you, Mr. Dalton, as well, to hear you speak. I would love to connect with you, grab some dinner, lunch, whatever you're up for. But Cooley had not had a home football field in 6 straight seasons. They played every game away, including homecoming. So we built a $1.2 million synthetic football field. In 2014, we also put in a home economics room, a medical simulation lab where students are learning to become firefighters. This is the first and only firefighter academy in the city of Detroit for high school students, and a number of other projects at Cooley. At Osborne, the biggest physical challenge was the roof. When it rained outside, it literally poured on students during class. So we re-roofed 70% of this 150,000 square foot roof. We also put in a brand new gym floor. And right after we put in the gym floor, the boys basketball team went to the Elite 8 in the state of Michigan for the first time in decades. Also, when we built the Cooley football field, the football team went to the city championship. I forgot to mention that. At Osborne, we put in a new weight room, redid the main office, redid the college room, and we also redid the cafeteria. In 2016, we moved into Denby on the east side. Shout out to any East Siders tuning in today. And this park that you see is right next to Denby High School. This park was designed by Denby High School students, and it's a $1.2 million park that we built together with the students, with the community in 2016. And so all of those over $15 million in projects were projects that we had no ownership over any of the school buildings. We poured in over $5 million in each community on average into Detroit Public Schools communities. Our mission is we exist to bridge people across divides to help transform each other's lives. So we're bringing people together from the city, the suburbs, different races, different religions, different political perspectives, and finding common ground and action-oriented solutions that are in response to the community's vision for the future of the community. I'm going to show you a 90-second video of who Life Remodeled is, and here you go.
Life Remodeled bridges people across divides.
In response to the significant polarization in our country, we bring people together across race, religion, politics, and socioeconomic differences.
Every year, 10,000 individuals from all walks of life come together by serving with one another to beautify 4 square miles of Detroit in only 6 days. We call it the 6-Day Project.
Construction companies work with us by donating time and materials to repair homes of hardworking Detroiters by providing new windows, furnaces, and roofs.
Throughout the year, we dive deeper into the realities of racial inequity through vulnerable and transparent discussions, where we are learning with you. We call it Race Remodeled.
The Durfee Innovation Society is home to more than 35 organizations collaborating with each other to provide a one-stop shop of opportunity for more than 14,000 children, students, and adults.
We are in DIS with you.
We invest in one community at a time, and our passion is prioritizing the local community first.
We have even more to learn from our resilient friends and families in communities like Durfee and Central than we can offer, and we're committed to growing with you.
Whether you live in the city or the suburbs, whatever you believe about religion, this is what life with you can look like. Will you join us?
All right, I want to point out a really important word in our name. It's called Life Remodeled, not Detroit Remodeled. And the reason that is because we don't believe in a top-down model of charity where we somehow elevate ourselves as the saviors or having solutions. What we believe is that everybody has a lot to offer and everybody has a lot to learn. And so we want to see everybody learn and grow together. And I'll be the first to say, we've made a lot of mistakes along the way. And one of those I want to talk about is the biggest mistake we ever made. And that is how we entered into the Durfee Central community, or not how we entered, but how we proceeded forward. So in 2016, our plan was to renovate Central High School, which we were invited to do by the community. And the school district was under emergency management at the time, as it was spoken of earlier. The interim superintendent was Alicia Merriweather. And the interim superintendent informed us that the school district was going to relocate all of the students from Durfee Elementary Middle School into Central High School. And then therefore they did not want us to renovate Central High School. They invited us to renovate Durfee Elementary Middle School, or the former Durfee Elementary Middle School building, instead. And so the interim superintendent shared that in a meeting with all parents who attended to Durfee, and people seemed excited about the transition, and there was no pushback at the time. And we talked to the community about our intentions to repurpose Durfee Elementary Middle School. But the biggest mistake we ever made was we did not talk publicly about the nature of the deal, that we were going to acquire the building, not purchase, not own, but to lease the building for $1 a year for 50 years. And as soon as that deal was done and the news came out, there were some serious bridges of trust burnt. And this is oversight on my part. I actually thought people in the community were going to be excited that we were going to get a good deal on the property to be able to reinvest the money that we would save in order to invest in the community. But I was dead wrong. And we had to spend a lot of time repenting, listening, learning from the community. So who you see pictured here are 7 out of the 11 Life Remodeled Community Advisory Councils, council members who exist to inform Life Remodeled on what the community wants us to do. They hold us accountable to our commitments. And several of the people on this council were completely against Life Remodeled when that trust was burnt. And you're going to hear from some of them now. You're also going to hear from the principal of Durfee Elementary Middle School. She's the first person you'll hear from in this short video.
DIS has brought back a sense of community that our neighborhood has been missing for a while. Our students are bused all over, and the DIS allows for that community building to occur. Our students participate in programs during the day and then especially after school. And now the DIS has been very inspirational in helping us motivate our students for attendance and count day, because as you know, it's been very difficult virtually trying to capture that attendance.
So I heard about a meeting up at Durfee that Life Remodeled was coming to inhabit the building. So I went up there with my chest stuck out, and it was a little uproar there. And then I had a chance to meet the CEO.
Exactly.
I thought there was some type of a takeover.
No.
After I watched the video,
I'm asking you.
and I said, well, you know what? Let me just take a walk with this and see what's really going on. And I must say, there are some great things going on in Life Remodeled.
And as a member, a lifelong member of the community, I was really opposed at first, didn't know what they had in mind. But for the last 4 years, Life Remodeled has did a great job in our community. I will admit, I wasn't too pleased with them in the beginning, but they didn't come for gentrification. They've helped children, adults, and businesses as well. So I am actually glad that they wind up sticking around and staying.
So it definitely created an asset in our community. You know, the students, the residents, and even, you know, people like myself who's just out here trying to learn and figure it out. We were still able to learn from this project overall.
City of Detroit had written this whole area off. And they came in, we were a little skeptical, but we got it done. We're now empowered to serve the community better.
Even though I was impressed with the organization and the work that they did, I was concerned, just given the history in Detroit, the types of things that we've seen, and just all of the passion and emotions that surround things like that. I can say that, you know, regardless of all the emotions I felt in the beginning and any skepticism that I had, it would be somewhat foolish now that I have the benefit of seeing the end result. To anyone in the Cooley community that is concerned, I would ask that they come over and they see what's been done. The Life Remodeled and Durfee team has engaged the community, and what we have today blows me away.
So a question we've been asked a number of times by community members, and I thank everyone who's asked this question, is why do we want Cooley? Why Life Remodeled? Why Cooley? And the answer is these three schools. Because as everyone on this call knows, one of the biggest barriers to opportunity in the city of Detroit is transportation. And so Cooley High School is located a maximum of 5 blocks from these three schools, which have a total of almost 1,700 students. And we've been in contact and conversation with each of the three principals, and we would love to work together collaboratively. What we can do to assist these three fantastic schools and these three fantastic principals, and as we can help increase school attendance, and we can help increase math and reading performance. You already heard Principal Webb Harris talk about how we've increased school attendance through the work that we're doing. We have various incentive programs. We have a totally free arcade here in the building where kids can come and play for free as long as they're attending school, as long as they're working hard on their grades and so on and so forth. And then math and reading performance is enhanced because we're bringing nonprofits to the community to provide after-school programming that does not currently exist in the community. And we've been very successful at that. If we were selected by the community, invited by the community, we would focus on a 4 square mile area on the boundaries that you see here on this map. And this would be where our 6-day project would take place, home repairs would take place, and of course, extensive community outreach along the lines of constant communication. Cooley High School, as many know, is 321,000 square feet, sitting on 18 acres. There are various pictures of Cooley floating around on the internet. And I think it might be deceptive if someone were to look at the picture on the left and think that that is still how Cooley High School looks today. The picture on the right is a recent picture that we took. There's tremendous amounts of graffiti, and unfortunately that was a library, but it gets a lot worse in a lot of other rooms in the building. This is not the Cooley High School building that all the proud alumni experienced while they were in this school. This is a very complicated construction project. And that's why the building has still been sitting there now for over 11 years. We will not make an offer to Detroit Public Schools. We have made that commitment until we first receive a formal letter of invitation. And that is what I was informed today's meeting was about, the community determining, do you want Life Remodeled in your community or not? And if the answer is no, we are completely at peace with that. We send love to the Cooley community. We understand the community might not be in a place where the community is ready to have unity around one particular developer. We have no interest in competing with Lionel Dalton or Nicole Pitts. We are not competing today. That is not why we were here. We would not have even sought to purchase this building if we would have been informed that Nicole was still interested in purchasing. We came over here informed that Nicole was done trying to purchase Cooley High School. So we do not want to start an argument in the community. That is not why we are here, and that's not what today is about. We are not going to say anything negative about anyone trying to purchase Cooley High School. We love everybody, but we can't do it without you. We can't do this without doing it together. We have been listening to community voice for 1 year, and you're going to see responses that we've received. But this goes way beyond initial community meetings. We want to become great friends where we're really understanding who the community is, and we've got a lot to learn. So if we are selected, our minimum commitment through the rest of 2021 is that we will host 2 minimum community meetings per month, so that we're ensuring all voices are heard, all voices are listened to, and we want to be held accountable to the community's requests and our commitments and response. So these are requests that we've received over the last year. Everything on the left side are things that are already happening right now in the Durfee Innovation Society. We were asked, can you bring after-school youth programs, tutoring, a community office for block club meetings? Can you bring senior services, a federally qualified health center, mental health services, skilled trades training, job assistance, financial education, special needs programming, parenting classes, nutritional support, and entertainment events? Again, all of those things we already have going on through fantastic tenants and organizations at the Durfee Innovation Society. On the right, these are requests that we don't currently have at the Durfee Innovation Society, but we believe it's highly likely we can bring these to Cooley if we're selected, if we go forward with this project. An urgent care was requested, a police mini station and chapel, a grocery store, legal services, arts programming, real estate development programming, a workout gym, returning citizens reentry programming, library with new technology, and gardens. This is a rendering of what Cooley High School could look like if we move forward with bringing the building to its beauty that it deserves. New windows, new landscaping, repairing the massive roof damage that exists, and additional work that I'll talk about. One of the most exciting things I have to tell you today, I have the permission to talk about this publicly because we have a commitment from an organization called Methodist Children's Home Society. They've given us an LOI to lease 80,000 square feet from Life Remodeled if we do move forward with this project, where they would take that really ugly 1972 addition. Personally, I don't think that offends anybody on this call. That addition does not do justice to the beauty of the original Cooley building. And so as we proposed on the right, a potential massive facade change. And the first tenant would be a center for pediatric health and wellness. And according to Detroit, Detroit, well, let me just say DHHS. The Cooley zip code, which is 48227, is in the top 10 in the state of Michigan for CPS investigations and removal of youth from their homes. That's Child Protective Services. The 48228 zip code, which is just south of Cooley, it touches the Cooley zip code, is also in the top 10. This organization can dramatically change that to where children are not going to have to be removed from their homes because they're going to be getting the treatment, the care that they deserve, and additional family support that will be extremely beneficial. This will be a day treatment mental health services center for approximately 50 youth per day, children, youth, and family outpatient counseling, which includes trauma care, grief and loss, and substance abuse, youth and family support groups, parenting classes, family respite care with 10 apartments that would be short-term in the event that children are staying overnight, their families would be able to stay with them, and wraparound services and case management and care coordination. The CEO of Methodist Children's Home Society is on the call with us right now, and they just won the Crane's Best Managed Nonprofit in the city of Detroit last year. Also, I've been given permission by the CEO of United Way to talk about their interests. This is not a commitment on behalf of the United Way. There's a lot of organizations I talk to on a regular basis, but I'm not going to tell you about anything that I haven't been given permission to talk about and something that I don't think is actually real. And so the United Way is interested in putting a 10,000 square foot resource and volunteer engagement center in Cooley if Life Remodeled moves forward with the project. This would be where all of United Way's resources would be distributed and many volunteer efforts that would happen on a regular basis. This is a floor plan of the first floor layout. The dark green area is the 1972 addition where Methodist Children's Home Society would move in. The light green area, these are where we put various tenants that are working in jobs, education, and human services. The blue area is the pool, the locker rooms, and the main office. The main office would become the home of community. This would not be leased out to a tenant. Our current plan would be, we would give it to community members for community meetings. And then the pool and locker rooms would also become community spaces. The second floor has the library in it. That would become a community space, which is in blue. The orange spaces are the orange spaces are bathrooms, and the yellow spaces are stairwells in the building. This is the third floor, which would also contain a very similar plan. I'm really excited to announce that I've been given permission to talk about Xprize publicly. Xprize is a contest that has given out millions and millions of dollars to solve some of the most technologically difficult problems in the world. Xprize is planning to do a contest that will award a minimum of $5 million to implement an innovative approach to affordable housing. Life Remodeled has been selected as an implementation partner of Xprize, and here's our commitment. If we move forward with this project, we will gift up to 6.7 acres of the Cooley site for free to an African-American developer who will benefit from the full prize of Xprize if everything materializes, and own the development. And that's what makes this project very timely. If we don't acquire the property before the end of the year, this goes away, Xprize moves on, or we end up going to another property, which is actually what we would do if the Cooley community doesn't want us. We're already looking at where we're gonna go next if we're told no. This is the site plan that we've worked through. In the bottom left is the 6-acre area that I'm talking about that the $5 million award would go to. And all of this would be given for free to an African-American developer. We've been in talks significantly with Jason Jones, Roderick Hardiman, and others. And we'd love to talk to Mr. Dalton and others who might be interested in partnering together. I want to remind everyone about our 6-day project, because our proposal is also to bring this to the Cooley community, where we're getting rid of overgrown brush and weeds and illegal dumping. We board up vacant properties. We put signage along the safest routes to and from school so kids can see where to walk, where not to walk. 80% of our volunteers from the city and suburbs say that the day they volunteer with us, they experience positive change in their thoughts or feelings about people of another race, religion, political perspective, or socioeconomic status. And in the Cody Rouge community, 1 year following our project that we completed in 2014, the police department came to us and said, you got to see this. Crime dropped in 10 out of 11 categories, including a 47% reduction in homicides. And we didn't ask for this data. The police department said to us, blight removal is highly significant in reducing crime. And the police department said, Life Remodeled, you played a big, big part in this. We also provide home repairs. We've been able to provide homeowners 1 critical repair for free, where we give them 3 options. They can get a new roof, new furnace, or new windows. 100% of the labor and materials have been donated by professional contractors. These aren't unskilled volunteers like me up on your roof, you know, acting like I can fix your roof when I don't really know anything, even though I actually did work in construction in the past. Race Remodeled is a program you heard about in our video. These are events that we host throughout the year where we bring people together to go much deeper on the discussions that need to be had on race and equity. And of course, many groups are having these conversations, but we're able to bring in a lot of people, white people from the suburbs who haven't been willing to listen to these conversations, who've really gone deep with us. And then we've been able to introduce them to a number of other organizations in Detroit that are African-American led that they end up working with. The Durfee Innovation Society is, again, I'm going to walk you through very briefly. Our motto is opportunity for everybody, opportunity for all. And so what we do is we find organizations that are moving the needle on either education, jobs, or human services. If you look at all of our tenants right now in the Durfee Innovation Society that are serving in the area of education, they are serving over 5,000 youth and children every year. And one of our goals is that by the year 2025, Durfee Elementary Middle School next door will become the most improved school in Detroit as a result of access to all these programs that did not exist in the community prior to Life Remodeled. The only ones that existed before were the Lawn Academy and Beyond Basics. And they weren't bricks and mortar like they are now, and they're far more engaged than they ever were in this community. Jobs is another area we're focused on. If you look at all of our tenants, they're helping over 5,000 Detroit adults get opportunities for good, sustainable jobs. These are not temporary jobs. We've got construction trades training. We've got audiovisual technology training and a number of other jobs. We have the largest Detroit at Work center in the entire city of Detroit. Human services wise, our tenants are helping 4,000 children, youth, and adults. We've got a cancer support group. We have a group, Ms. Francis, I would love to talk with you about your comment earlier as you're a self-described senior citizen, even though, you know, to me, you could pass for 45 years old. We have programming for over 900 senior citizens that's happening in our building. We've got literally something for everybody, 2 foster care and adoption agencies, pediatric therapy, a federally qualified health center. These are some pictures of kids involved in our programming right now at the Durfee Innovation Society. This is the wing for Detroit at Work, which again is the largest Detroit at Work in the entire city. This is our arcade. It is totally free. It does not accept money. It is free for kids. We use it as incentive to get them involved in after-school programming, to help them attend school regularly, and to get good grades. And we're about to open this arcade to adults in the community who want to play on it as well for free, because I know I'm one of the adults that enjoys arcade games. I'll admit that. This is our library, which we've done a lot of work to all these spaces. This is our auditorium. I wish I had the time to show you the before pictures, but it's pretty extravagant. And this is our planetarium, which we're bringing online this month with a brand new digital projector that was recently donated to us. And I can't wait to bring that online. We also put in a free laundromat, totally free. We're not accepting money. This is for children to be able to wash their clothes, to go to school, because we learned the #1 reason kids were absent from school frequently prior to the pandemic was lack of access to laundry. And so that's a totally free resource. We have 2 youth advisory councils of Durfee and Central students who are constantly advising us on what the kids want from Durfee and Central. So we are all about hearing community voice and being held accountable to what people want. The whole reason these opportunity hubs work is because our buildings provide opportunities for every single family member, no matter what their age is. Collaboration between nonprofits is way more powerful than competition. And what we help these nonprofits do is work together, not only with each other, but with the community, with the students. Our lease rates are under market value. And the reason we are able to charge under market value is because we have no debt on the Durfee Innovation Society building. We invested $4.5 million to renovate this building, 0 debt. We raised our money through philanthropy, which means we don't have to pass on debt prices to our tenants. And then the whole thing is already financially self-sustainable. It is in the black financially through the lease rates that our tenants pay. And that's what gives this project long-term sustainability. And we can do that in Cooley as well. So if you compare the DIS to what we think we can do at Cooley, what we know we can do at Cooley, the DIS currently has 36 organizations who are our tenants. 77% of our 36 tenants are led by BIPOC leaders. Those organizations employ a total of 210 people in our building on a regular basis, and they serve over 14,000 people annually. At Cooley, our commitment would be we would prioritize finding organizations that are led by BIPOC leaders. They would employ at least 420 employees. I say that because Cooley is twice the size of the Durfee Innovation Society, which means it can have twice the impact. And we'll serve at least 30,000 people annually collectively. When it comes to our 6-day project, we would like to commit to doing at least 5 straight years of 6-day projects in the Cooley community. We would like to commit to home repairs if we're selected, where in Durfee and Central, we repaired 96 homes of homeowners. We are committing to a minimum of 50 homes that we would repair with new roofs, new furnaces, or new windows. We will also apply for a $750,000 grant that we have been told we are highly likely to win. That would be a comprehensive home repair grant for 10 homes. We're not going to apply for it in Cooley if we're not moving forward together, but that's something we will apply for. And of course, we can't guarantee we'll be awarded it. When it comes to resource distribution, we have distributed hundreds of thousands of dollars in resources since COVID-19, literally over $500,000. We distributed $30,000 of gift cards to Black-owned Detroit residents. We distributed fresh produce to 700 families a week for 16 weeks. We continue to provide groceries to 200 families every other week through Gleaners and Forgotten Harvest as a partner. We've distributed 8,000 high-quality washable, reusable masks, paid rent for 13 families who live in the Durfee Central community. We installed free Wi-Fi access on the exterior of the DIS building for community use. We've done coat drives. And again, I say we, I'm talking about our partners collectively together. People like the gentleman who was on the call earlier have done coat drives here, flu shot clinics, bike giveaways, holiday events, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, and Easter. I'm wrapping up my presentation in just a couple minutes. I want everyone to know publicly the offer that we are prepared to make Detroit Public Schools. We are not trying to get this building for free, although it appraised for $0 in the fall of 2020. A national appraisal company called IRR was contracted by us to do an independent study. It appraised at $0 because the cost to renovate the building exceeds the financial benefit that would come from renovating it, even through leasing. There's no money to be made off this building, contrary to what anybody may think or may say. Nevertheless, we are prepared to offer $400,000. We have the money now. It's been approved by our board to make that offer, but we are not going to submit that offer without a formal letter of invitation from the community to do so. Barton Malow, which is the largest construction company in the state and one of our partners, has estimated that to white box Cooley is $22 million, which we would raise all of that through fundraising and through some loans. Our proposed renovation start date is December 1st of 2022. Our proposed completion date is December 31st of 2023. We also anticipate an additional $18 million of investment from our tenants and the residential development, which would bring the total investment to approximately $40 million projected. Hammond & Associates is a fundraising consultant. We hired them to do a feasibility study with our 20 largest donors. Here is the quote that I've been given permission to share from Hammond & Associates. Having adopted the recommendations made in our feasibility study report, Hammond & Associates is confident that Life Remodel can raise $15 million in philanthropic gifts in 3 years. That means we need to raise 22, but we can do 15 through philanthropy, and the rest we can do through loans and other sources. Our development team partners are Barton Malow, the largest construction company in the state, Development Architecture, Bodman Attorneys, which is the same attorney firm for the Detroit Lions, and Plant Moran is our financial consultant. If anyone has any questions about my experience with construction, I am grateful to say that in 2018, I was inducted into the Building Design and Construction 40 Under 40. Building Design and Construction is a national construction publication. I was selected as one of the 40 most impactful women or men in the country as it relates to construction and design under the age of 40 in 2018. And now I'm actually 40 now, about to turn 41 in May. So do you want Life Remodeled in your neighborhood? That is the question. If the answer is no, it's all good. For those who want to continue to see what's happening here in the Durfee Innovation Society, we've got 3 tour dates where you can come tour. This is also on our website, www.cooleycommunity.com. You can register to tour the Durfee Innovation Society to see what we've already done. We don't want to make promises that are based on things that we hope we can do. We want to make commitments based on things that we've already done. And so I'd like to open it up to any questions or comments anyone may have.